The mysterious ban. In a galaxy filled with many species, a powerful organization called the Galactic Council ruled. They maintained peace among the stars, ensuring that no one race grew too powerful. One day, they announced a shocking decision. Humans were banned from all forms of warfare. This decision left many aliens confused and curious. Zeril, a young and inquisitive scholar from the planet Trillon, could not understand the ban. He had heard tales of humanity's fierce bravery and impressive skills in battle. Why would they ban such a brave species? He wondered. Zeril was determined to find the truth behind this mysterious decision. He spent hours in the Grand Library of Trillon, searching for answers. The library was a vast building filled with ancient scrolls and digital records. Many species contributed their histories, but most of the human records were missing. Why would they hide the history of such an important race? Zeril thought, feeling the spark of curiosity ignite in his mind. As he searched, Zeril found an old book written by an alien historian. The book described many battles that humans had fought in the past. Humans were not just soldiers, they were warriors who inspired fear in their enemies. One battle, in particular, stood out, a great conflict known as the Terran War. Humans had fought against many powerful foes, showcasing their strategic minds and relentless spirits. Zeril read on, fascinated by the stories of human bravery. They faced overwhelming odds but never backed down. Yet the book stopped suddenly, leaving a blank page. What happened after the Terran War? Zeril wondered. His heart raced with the desire to uncover the missing pieces of the puzzle. Determined to learn more, Zeril decided to speak with an old general named Thokar. Thokar had fought alongside humans and knew their ways. Finding him was not easy, but Zeril's persistence paid off. Thokar lived in a small village, far from the bustling cities. When Zeril arrived, he found Thokar sitting outside his humble home, gazing at the stars. "General Thokar," Zeril called out, approaching respectfully. "May I ask you about the humans and the ban?" Thokar looked at Zeril, his eyes filled with memories. "Ah, humans," he said with a sigh. "They are a remarkable species. Their spirit is unbreakable, and their courage unmatched. But there is a darkness to their strength." Zeril listened intently, eager to hear more. "What do you mean?" he asked. "During the Terran War, humans unleashed power that no one had seen before. They fought with fire and fury, but it was not just their weapons that struck fear. They had a secret, a weapon that could alter the very fabric of reality," Thokar explained. Zeril's eyes widened. "A weapon? What kind of weapon?" Thokar paused, as if choosing his words carefully. "It was a last resort, a creation born from desperation. When humans faced extinction, they created something that could change worlds. The Council feared this weapon, fearing it could fall into the wrong hands. So they decided to ban humanity from warfare altogether." Zeril felt a chill run down his spine. The Galactic Council had made a grave decision, but he could see their reasoning. If such power existed, it was dangerous in the hands of anyone. But why erase all memory of it? "Is there any evidence left of this weapon?" Zeril asked. "Most records were destroyed. The Council made sure of that," Thokar replied. "Anyone who dared to ask questions about it vanished. They wanted to ensure that the galaxy never learned the truth." Zeril's heart raced. The Council's actions only fueled his curiosity further. Why were they so afraid of humans? What if the galaxy misunderstood them? The thought stirred something inside him. "I must find out more," he decided. "The truth must come to light." As he left Thokar's home, the stars above twinkled brightly, almost as if they were encouraging him. He realized he was on the brink of uncovering the hidden truth that could change everything. The ban on humans was not just a rule. It was a story waiting to be told. Zeril returned to the library, his mind racing with possibilities. He knew he had to dig deeper to find the lost history of humanity. Each clue he uncovered would bring him closer to understanding why humans were feared. And with each piece of the puzzle, he hoped to find a way to help the galaxy see humans not as a threat, but as potential allies. With determination in his heart, Cyril set forth on his quest. The truth was out there, hidden in the shadows of history, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover it. He would not rest until he brought light to the dark corners of the galaxy. Humanity's story was not over. It was just beginning. The human legacy of conflict. Cyril sat in the grand library of Trilon, surrounded by the soft glow of data screens and ancient scrolls. His heart raced with excitement and anticipation. He had learned that humans were once fierce warriors, and now he was determined to discover more about their legacy. The stories he had heard from General Fokker lingered in his mind, urging him to dig deeper. He began his search for more information on the Terran War and the humans' military history. Cyril sorted through countless records, scrolling through digital archives, and deciphering old texts. As he read, he found tales of bravery and heroism, stories of battles fought in distant star systems where humans stood against overwhelming odds. Cyril stumbled upon an ancient manuscript titled The Chronicles of Terra. It detailed many significant conflicts that shaped humanity's path. Humans had once been divided, fighting among themselves in wars that seemed endless. However, when faced with external threats, they united. Their strength came not just from their weapons, but from their unwavering spirit and ability to adapt. One story stood out among the rest. It was about a battle known as the Battle of the Last Stand. In this conflict, humans faced an invading alien force that vastly outnumbered them. The odds were stacked against them, but the humans fought bravely. They devised clever strategies, using the terrain to their advantage and employing innovative tactics that surprised their enemies. As Cyril read on, he found himself captivated by the humans' ability to turn the tide of battle. They used their intelligence to outsmart their foes, relying on their quick thinking and teamwork. It was not merely brute strength, but a combination of skill, strategy, and heart that made them formidable opponents. Cyril could feel a sense of respect growing within him for these warriors of Earth. However, the manuscript also revealed a darker side to humanity's legacy. In their pursuit of victory, humans had created devastating weapons capable of mass destruction. These inventions had shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. Their actions led to fear among other species, prompting the Galactic Council to take drastic measures to contain humanity. The thought of such power being unleashed once again made Cyril shudder. After hours of reading, Cyril took a break, allowing his mind to process the information. He wondered why humans had chosen to develop such dangerous technology. Was it born out of fear, or was it the desire for power? He pondered. His thoughts drifted to the tales of heroism. The bravery shown in the face of adversity was a testament to their character, yet the weapons they created painted a different picture. Determined to learn more, Cyril decided to seek out other beings who had interacted with humans. He visited various forums and discussions held by alien scholars and military experts, eager to gather diverse perspectives. Many aliens shared their encounters with humans, and the stories varied greatly. Some viewed them as reckless, while others admired their tenacity. One particular account from a Vesperian pilot struck Cyril deeply. The pilot had fought alongside humans during a skirmish against a common enemy. He described how humans faced danger with unwavering courage, their determination shining brightly in the heat of battle. The pilot recounted a moment when a human soldier, despite being outnumbered, charged at the enemy, rallying others to follow. It was as if their spirit ignited the very stars around them, he said, his eyes gleaming with admiration. Cyril noted how this passion inspired others, creating a powerful alliance. He realized that humanity's strength lay not only in their fighting capabilities, but also in their ability to inspire those around them. The stories he collected painted a complex picture of humans, filled with both darkness and light. As the days turned into weeks, Cyril compiled his findings. He began to understand that the Galactic Council's fear of humans stemmed from their duality. They could be protectors or destroyers, heroes or villains. This realization shook him to his core. How could a species so remarkable be so misunderstood? One night, as he prepared to leave the library, Cyril stumbled upon an old holographic recording. It was a message from a human leader addressing their people during a time of crisis. The leader spoke passionately about unity, courage, and the responsibility that came with power. "We are not just warriors. We are guardians of peace," the leader declared. "We must remember our past, but not let it define our future." The words resonated with Cyril. He realized that humans were aware of their flaws and actively sought to improve. They were a species capable of learning from their mistakes. In that moment, he made a decision. He would not only seek the truth for himself, but also share it with the galaxy. The story of humanity deserved to be told, a story of resilience and growth. With newfound determination, Cyril left the library, ready to embark on a journey to uncover the hidden truths about humanity. The galaxy needed to understand the complexity of this remarkable species, and he would be the one to bridge the gap. As he gazed up at the stars, he felt a sense of purpose guiding him. The legacy of humans was not just a tale of war. It was a journey of understanding, and he was determined to be a part of it. The hidden truths. Cyril's quest to uncover the truth about humanity grew stronger with each passing day. He had gathered countless stories about humans, but the deeper he dug, the more questions emerged. Why had the Galactic Council chosen to hide the truth? What dark secrets lay beneath the surface of the ban? He felt a need to find the answers before it was too late. One evening, while sifting through more records in the library, Cyril discovered a hidden section. It was dusty and untouched, as if no one had visited it in years. The shelves were filled with ancient texts, and the air was thick with mystery. Intrigued, Cyril brushed off the dust and pulled out an old tome titled The Hidden Chronicles of Terra. He could feel excitement bubbling inside him. As he opened the book, Cyril found accounts that were different from what he had read before. These stories were not about battles or war. They were about peace, cooperation, and compassion. They detailed how humans had sought to connect with other species, sharing knowledge and technology. They were explorers, eager to learn about the universe and its wonders. One passage stood out to him. It described a mission called the Unity Project. This initiative aimed to foster peaceful relations between humans and other races. Humans traveled to distant planets, sharing their culture, art, and technology. They formed alliances with species that had once viewed them with suspicion. This outreach had led to remarkable advancements in science and medicine, benefiting many. Cyril's heart swelled with pride for humanity. He had only heard stories of their battles, but now he saw their desire for harmony. However, his excitement was dampened by the realization that this information was hidden. Why would the Galactic Council suppress such a positive aspect of humanity? It made no sense. Determined to find answers, Cyril sought out other scholars and experts in the field of galactic politics. He attended discussions and debates, hoping to gather insights into the Council's motivations. It was during one of these meetings that he met Lyra, a Xenorian diplomat known for her strong opinions. "Why do you think the Council fears humans so much?" Cyril asked Lyra after the meeting. Lyra crossed her arms, her expression serious. "Humans represent a wild card. They are unpredictable. They could either be our greatest allies or our worst enemies. The Council wants to maintain control over the galaxy, and allowing humans to engage in warfare again could disrupt the balance." Cyril nodded, understanding her perspective but feeling conflicted. "But isn't it better to work together and learn from one another?" Lyra sighed. "Of course, but trust is hard to build, especially after the Terran War. Many races still remember the destruction and chaos that humans brought. The Council believes that keeping humans out of warfare is the only way to ensure peace." Cyril's mind raced. The more he learned, the more he realized that the Council's fear was rooted in the past, not the present. Humans had evolved, and their intentions had shifted. If only the galaxy could see that, perhaps they would reconsider their stance. Feeling inspired, Cyril decided to organize a gathering of various species to discuss the truth about humanity. He reached out to diplomats, scholars, and military leaders, hoping to create a platform for open dialogue. The event would be called the Human Legacy Forum, and it would focus on sharing knowledge about humans' true nature and their desire for peace. Meanwhile, Cyril continued to work tirelessly, reaching out to more species and inviting them to join the dialogue. He was filled with determination, believing that they could change the narrative. However, he was unaware of the storm brewing within the Council. One evening, while Cyril was reviewing notes for an upcoming presentation, he received an urgent message from Lyra. "Cyril, we need to talk." "It's about the Council," she said, her voice tense. Concerned, Cyril invited her to his residence. When she arrived, her expression was grave. "The Council is planning to launch a smear campaign against humanity. They want to undermine everything you've worked for at the Forum. They will use every resource at their disposal to spread lies." Cyril's heart sank. "But why? We were making progress. This doesn't make any sense." "It does to them," Lyra replied. "They fear humanity's potential. If they can convince the galaxy that humans are still a danger, they can maintain control and keep the ban in place." Cyril clenched his fists, anger and frustration boiling within him. "We cannot let them do this. We have to fight back and expose their lies." Lyra nodded. "But we need a plan. We can't just confront the Council head-on. They hold too much power. We need allies, those who support humanity and understand the truth." Together, they began to reach out to other delegates from the Forum. Cyril shared Lyra's warning about the Council's plans and urged them to stand with him. The response was overwhelmingly supportive. Many delegates felt the same determination to protect humanity's reputation, and they quickly organized a counter-campaign to promote the true nature of humans. As they gathered evidence of human kindness and cooperation, Cyril prepared for a public address. He wanted to confront the Council directly, using their own platform against them. The date was set for a major Council meeting, where he would present their findings and call for an end to the ban. However, the Council was not without its own strategies. Jarek and his allies began circulating false reports, suggesting that humans were secretly arming themselves in preparation for war. They claimed to have evidence, citing mysterious transmissions intercepted from Earth. The goal was to create fear and distrust among the other species. Cyril knew he had to act quickly. He gathered his supporters, including Lyra and other diplomats, to strategize their next steps. They brainstormed ways to counter the Council's narrative, focusing on transparency and truth. On the day of the Council meeting, Cyril stood at the front of the Grand Hall, heart racing. The atmosphere was charged with tension as Council members took their seats. He could feel the weight of their gazes upon him, a mixture of skepticism and disdain. Taking a deep breath, Cyril began his presentation. He shared heartfelt stories of humans helping those in need, their contributions to interstellar projects, and how they had worked alongside other species to build a better galaxy. He laid out the evidence that countered the Council's claims, showing the true spirit of humanity. "The time has come to stop the cycle of fear and misunderstanding," Cyril declared. "We must embrace our differences and learn from one another. Humanity has proven time and time again that they can be our greatest allies, not our enemies." As he spoke, Cyril noticed the expressions of some Council members shifting. There were murmurs of doubt and consideration. But just as he felt a glimmer of hope, Jarek stood up, cutting through the tension. "Enough of this nonsense," he shouted, his voice echoing in the hall. "Cyril presents a rosy picture of humanity, but we cannot ignore the truth. They are a danger to us all. We must act before it is too late." The room erupted in chaos. Delegates began shouting, some in support of Cyril's message, others echoing Jarek's fears. The Council's unity was beginning to crack, and the battle for the galaxy's perception of humanity was far from over. Cyril stood tall, his determination unwavering. He knew the road ahead would be difficult, but he was ready to fight for humanity's future. With allies by his side, he would expose the truth, challenge the Council, and strive for a galaxy where humanity could stand as equals, not as outcasts. The turning point. As the Council meeting descended into chaos, Cyril's heart raced. He could sense the growing tension in the room. This was not just a battle of words. It was a fight for the future of humanity. He focused on Jarek, whose anger seemed to fuel the discontent among the delegates. But Cyril knew he had to remain calm. Panic would not serve their cause. Jarek, Cyril called out, his voice steady but firm. You speak of danger, yet you fail to see the potential for peace. We must choose a path that fosters cooperation, not fear. We cannot let the past define our future. The Council members shifted uneasily in their seats, some glancing at one another. Cyril's supporters, who had gathered in the hall, stood resolute, their expressions showing determination. They believed in him, and now was the time to rally that belief into action. We cannot ignore the progress we have made together as a galaxy, Cyril continued, pacing the stage to command attention. We have learned from our mistakes, just as humanity has learned from theirs. Instead of isolating them, we should be welcoming them back into the fold. Suddenly, a voice rang out from the back of the hall. It was a representative from the Thalorians, a species known for their wisdom and deep understanding of interstellar relations. Cyril is right, she said, standing tall. We have a chance to rewrite our history. Fear has led us to close our doors to those who seek to change. We should not condemn humanity based on the actions of a few in their past. The Thalorians' support seemed to spark a ripple of agreement. Other delegates began to nod and murmur in approval. Cyril felt a surge of hope. Perhaps the tide was turning in their favor after all. However, Jarek was not ready to concede. You are naive, he shouted, his voice cutting through the supportive murmurs. You think a few my stories will change the reality. We have seen what humanity is capable of. Their technology, their weaponry, they are a threat. Cyril seized the moment. Let us address that threat, then, he declared. We have a choice before us. We can continue to hide from our past mistakes, or we can work together to create a future where all species can coexist peacefully. We can establish oversight and collaboration in technology sharing. Let us set limits and build safeguards. Humanity is not our enemy. It can be our strongest ally. A hush fell over the room. The idea of collaboration, of working together to ensure safety and security, resonated with many. Cyril could feel the shift. He pressed on, his words fueled by passion. Imagine a galaxy where knowledge is shared, where innovation thrives, and where species unite for a common purpose. A future where humans stand beside us, contributing their creativity and strength. This is our chance to change the narrative. Let's choose hope over fear. As he spoke, Cyril noticed several council members leaning forward, intrigued by his vision. Even some of Jarek's allies appeared to reconsider their stance. Then, a delegate from the Raken, a species known for their powerful fleets and advanced technology, stood up. I support Cyril's vision, he said boldly. We cannot allow fear to dictate our actions. Humanity's advancements could benefit us all if we allow them to participate openly in the galaxy's affairs. With each supporting voice, the atmosphere began to change. More representatives began to rise, expressing their agreement and support for the idea of a new alliance with humanity. The council members who had previously sided with Jarek looked increasingly uneasy, realizing that their grip on the narrative was slipping. Seeing the shift, Jarek's face turned red with anger. You are all fools. You don't understand the danger. He yelled, but his voice lacked the strength it had earlier. The tide was turning against him, and he could feel it. As more delegates joined Cyril's cause, the room buzzed with a new energy. The council began to realize that the voices for peace and unity were growing stronger. Cyril knew this was a crucial moment. He had to capitalize on this momentum. "Let us put this to a vote," he proposed. "Let us decide if we will continue this ban on humanity, or if we will open our doors and establish a new path forward." A murmur of agreement swept through the crowd, and council members nodded in assent. As the vote was called, tension filled the air. Each member cast their vote, and the results were tallied. The room fell silent as the final count was announced. The majority is in favor of lifting the ban on humanity. A wave of cheers erupted from Cyril's supporters. Hope filled the room, and smiles spread across faces. But even in the midst of celebration, Cyril knew that the fight was far from over. Jarek stood seething, fury etched across his face. "You may have won this round, but mark my words, this isn't over. We will find a way to keep humanity in check." Cyril met Jarek's gaze, unyielding. "Let them show us their true selves, Jarek. Only then can we judge their worth." With that, Cyril's victory marked the beginning of a new era. Humanity had a chance to step out of the shadows and prove themselves among the stars. The path ahead would be challenging, but with the support of the Council, they could forge a future where they could stand side by side with the galaxy. As Cyril left the meeting, he felt the weight of the galaxy lift from his shoulders. There would be trials ahead, but he was ready. Humanity's time to shine had finally come. A new dawn. With the ban on humanity officially lifted, the galaxy buzzed with excitement and skepticism. News of the Council's decision spread quickly, and many species prepared for the potential arrival of human representatives. Cyril felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. This was a critical moment, not just for humanity, but for all the species that inhabited the galaxy. The Council decided to host a summit on the neutral planet of Orion Prime. It was a vibrant world known for its lush landscapes and advanced infrastructure, making it the perfect setting for a meeting between species. Cyril was tasked with preparing the agenda and ensuring everything ran smoothly. As the day of the summit approached, Cyril worked tirelessly. He coordinated with delegates from various planets, discussing topics ranging from technology sharing to environmental protections. Each meeting revealed more divisions and concerns, but Cyril remained focused on the vision of a united galaxy. On the eve of the summit, Cyril received a message from an unexpected source. It was from Commander Elena Morgan, the leader of the first human delegation. She had arrived on Orion Prime and requested a private meeting. Intrigued, Cyril agreed. The next morning, they met in a quiet chamber at the summit center. Elena was tall and confident, with an air of determination that resonated with Cyril. She extended her hand for a handshake, her grip firm. "It's an honor to meet you, Cyril. I appreciate your efforts to bring humanity back into the fold." "Thank you, Commander. It's an important step for us all," Cyril replied, his heart pounding. "But I must admit, many are still wary of humanity. How can we ensure their concerns are addressed?" Elena took a deep breath, her expression serious. "I understand the fears, but I believe humanity has a lot to offer. Our technology is not just advanced. It's built on lessons learned from our past. We've made mistakes, but we've also evolved. We want to share our innovations responsibly and work together for mutual growth." Cyril felt a sense of hope rising within him. If you can show them your commitment to peace, it may help ease their fears. "Absolutely. We come prepared to show our advancements in peaceful technologies and discuss collaborative projects that benefit all species. We want to demonstrate that humanity can be a valuable ally." As the summit began, Cyril watched as delegates from different planets filled the grand hall. Some were excited, while others looked skeptical. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Elena and her team presented their technologies and innovations. She spoke passionately about humanity's desire for cooperation, highlighting projects aimed at environmental sustainability and interspecies communication. Many were captivated, but doubts still lingered. One delegate stood up. It was Jarek, whose face was still twisted with anger. We cannot forget the destruction humanity caused in the past. Are we to trust them again? What guarantees can they provide? Alina responded with confidence. We have learned from our history. Our goal now is to build trust, not to dominate. We propose a joint task force to monitor technology sharing, ensuring transparency and accountability. Let us prove ourselves through action. The room fell silent. This was a bold proposal, and Cyril could sense the wavering support from some of the skeptical delegates. Trust is earned, not given, Cyril added, standing beside Alina. We all share the responsibility of creating a safer future. If we allow humanity to demonstrate their commitment, we take a step toward a stronger alliance. A murmuring of agreement echoed through the hall. One by one, delegates began to express their support for the proposal. Even Jarek, while still visibly reluctant, couldn't deny the momentum building around the idea. As the summit progressed, more proposals emerged. There were discussions on cultural exchanges, joint defense initiatives, and shared environmental efforts. With each new idea, the atmosphere shifted closer to unity. But just as it seemed victory was in sight, a commotion erupted outside the hall. An alarm blared, and delegates rushed to the windows to see what was happening. Cyril's heart sank as he saw ships approaching the planet. They were not ships from any allied species. What's going on? Cyril demanded, turning to a nearby security officer. Unidentified vessels are entering the atmosphere, the officer replied, panic evident in his voice. They're armed. Jarek's face darkened. This is what I warned you about. Humanity cannot be trusted. They're bringing trouble with them. Cyril shook his head. We must remain calm. We need to figure out who they are before we jump to conclusions. Let's send a delegation to make contact. Alina nodded, her expression serious. We can't let fear dictate our response. We need to show strength and unity, not division. As they rushed to gather the council members, Cyril felt the weight of the moment press down on him. The fate of this new alliance was hanging by a thread. Would this crisis pull them apart, or could it bring them together? Cyril stepped onto the balcony, taking a deep breath to steady himself. This is our chance to show the galaxy what humanity and the Council can achieve together. We will face this threat united. The delegates rallied behind him, and for a moment, Cyril could see the flicker of hope. Together, they would confront whatever was coming. The future of their alliance depended on it. A united front. The atmosphere on Orion Prime was tense as the unidentified ships descended through the clouds, their dark silhouettes ominous against the bright sky. Cyril stood alongside Commander Alina Morgan, the two of them watching the unfolding scene from the balcony of the summit hall. The distant hum of the approaching vessels vibrated in the air, heightening the urgency of the moment. Who are they? Cyril asked, his mind racing with possibilities. What do they want? I don't know, but we can't allow fear to dictate our actions, Alina replied firmly. We must remain calm and approach this situation with unity. Just then, Jarek stormed up to them, his eyes narrowed with suspicion. This is exactly what I feared. Humanity is the cause of this chaos. Now is not the time for blame. Cyril interrupted, holding Jarek's gaze. We need to focus on the safety of everyone here. If we allow panic to take over, we could endanger the summit and everything we've worked for. Jarek opened his mouth to protest, but before he could speak, a booming voice echoed from the entrance of the hall. Attention! All delegates, please remain calm. We have reports of ships approaching. We are working to identify them now. Cyril turned to see a security officer making his way through the crowd, urgency etched on his face. I need all available units to the perimeter. Prepare for potential evacuation. Alina stepped forward. No, we need to establish communication first. We don't even know if they mean to attack. Commander, this isn't the time for diplomacy. Jarek shouted, frustration spilling over. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect each other. Elena shot back, her voice steady and commanding. A united front is our best chance against any threat. With the debate hanging in the air, Cyril made a decision. I will lead a delegation to communicate with the incoming ships. If they are hostile, we need to show we are prepared to defend ourselves. But if they seek peace, we must be ready to welcome them. Elena nodded, impressed by his resolve. I'll go with you. It's important that humanity is represented in this crucial moment. As the delegates agreed on a plan, Xerl quickly gathered a small group of trusted individuals, including Elena, Jarek, and a few members of the security team. They headed to the main control center, where monitors displayed live feeds of the approaching ships. The lead ship was massive, its sleek surface reflecting the light from the planet below. It bore no markings, no symbols of any known civilization. As it hovered closer, a warning message appeared on the screen. Unidentified vessels. Stand down or be prepared for engagement. Xerl felt a wave of tension ripple through the room. We need to respond. Let's send out a message to establish communication, he directed, his voice steady despite the rising anxiety around him. As the communications officer typed furiously, he relayed a message to the incoming ships, asking them to identify themselves and their intentions. The seconds felt like hours as everyone held their breath, waiting for a response. Suddenly, the screen flickered, and a figure appeared. It was an alien, tall and imposing, with dark scales that shimmered under the control room lights. The alien's eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity. This is General Cathar of the Zrath Alliance. We come in peace, but we demand to speak with your leaders. Xerl stepped forward, feeling a mix of relief and apprehension. I am Cyril, a representative of the Galactic Council. We welcome you to Orion Prime. Please state your intentions clearly. The alien regarded Cyril with piercing eyes. We have watched your summit with interest. We seek an alliance with your people, but we need assurances. Humanity's presence is concerning to us. The last time they were involved in galactic affairs, it ended in disaster. Elena interjected. We understand your concerns. However, humanity has changed. We have learned from our past mistakes and come here to offer cooperation, not conflict. Cathar's expression softened slightly. Very well. But we demand to see proof of humanity's commitment to peace. You must demonstrate your advancements and intentions before we consider any alliance. Xerl felt a rush of hope. We can arrange that. We have technologies and projects we are eager to share. We will prove our dedication to peaceful collaboration. Then let us meet in the open courtyard. We will observe your technology demonstration, and the council shall judge your sincerity. Cathar replied, a hint of curiosity in his tone. As they prepared for the demonstration, Carol looked around at the delegates, their expressions a mixture of fear and determination. This was a moment of truth for humanity, and they would face it together. The courtyard was soon filled with representatives from various species, watching as Elena and her team unveiled their technology. Holograms flickered to life, showcasing innovations in energy efficiency, sustainable agriculture, and advanced communication systems. As the demonstration unfolded, Cyril noticed that Cathar remained stoic, but there was a glimmer of interest in his eyes. The assembled crowd began to murmur in approval, and hope began to blossom among the delegates. After the presentation, Cathar addressed the crowd. Your technologies show promise, but words are not enough. Actions speak louder. If you wish for our alliance, you must show your commitment to peaceful coexistence. Xerl stepped forward once more. We will do whatever it takes to prove ourselves. We are ready to collaborate on projects that will benefit all species and work together to protect our shared future. With Cathar's nod, the tension in the courtyard began to dissipate. A new path was unfolding, one of collaboration and unity. The crowd erupted in applause, and Cyril felt a rush of relief wash over him. In that moment, he knew that the battle against prejudice and fear was far from over, But the seeds of trust had been planted. Humanity was no longer an outcast. They were stepping into the light, ready to embrace their role as a vital part of the galactic community. As the summit continued, Carol looked at Alina, pride swelling in his chest. They had faced the darkness together, and now they were paving the way for a new dawn, one where humanity and its allies could thrive side by side.